Y'all, this episode was a doozy. Is Aquaria getting too cocky? Is it too late for Cracker and Monet to win a challenge? And what did you think of that lip sync? We're about to talk about it on RuPaul's Drag Race After Show on AfterBuzz TV.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Oh, Miss Patty.
Oh, these shoulders.
Ooh.
Come on with these shoulders.
Ooh, work it.
How does he?
Ooh, yes. It is lit here on Sundays on AfterBuzz TV. We are here talking about RuPaul's Drag Race, Episode 9, Rest World. I'm your host, Oliver Drennan. Who do we have here?
He is living for his life.
Hi, everybody. It's me, Tony Moore. I haven't been here in forever. In like a couple of seasons, actually.
Welcome back, Tony Tone. How
Thank
about that
you.
dancing in the beginning of the show?
Well, you know, I like to, okay, so like secretly, I'll go ahead and reveal this. I always do the lip syncs in my living room as if I was on the show.
Really?
Just to see like what I would do if I were in that situation.
That is the YouTube channel I would like to subscribe to. And so next season, anyways, what's up, guys? I'm Ronnie Junior, randomly RJ. Yeah, cool episode, Mr. Ollie and Tony Tone.
Before we talk about it, we got to give a shout out to our girl Jackie B. 123.
Yes.
Just got married to her new man, Aldo. Shout out to her, send her some love. Go follow her. Congratulations, Jackie.
Yeah.
And how about like wedding sex versus like the regular sex? I really.
It doesn't, I don't think it changes.
No, I'm sure it gets great tonight.
Oh, I wouldn't know.
No, I can tell you that tonight is not going to happen. They tired. They've been up all day dealing with everybody, like trying to go through the wedding and all that kind of stuff. Sorry, Jackie, I'm not trying to put your business out in the street, but I'm just saying they probably not going to do any of that
Went a
today.
whole nother route.
Yeah.
Well, all
oh,
right.
and hey, Mark J. Freeman.
Oh, shout out to Mark at Lorraine Love.
That's right, bitch. I'm taking your spot.
Oh
No,
God.
not really. Just for today.
It is a battle
All
already.
right. I'm gonna say my thoughts about this episode.
Do it, man.
But I want to hear from you guys first. What did you think? And Tony, what do you think about this season so far? Because we haven't heard you yet.
I actually enjoyed this season. I mean, I've been a huge fan of Drag Race since season 1, and I've literally watched every season. I do like this season, and I like the cast of girls. I feel like this is probably the first season where early on the girls were like bringing it, and all because normally it's like around this time, maybe like 2 episodes ago, where it kind of goes, all right, you guys really have to get it together. But like by episode 4 or so, it was like, oh, you did this, oh, you gotta go. And it's like, whoa, that's so early. So yeah, so I like it.
I also wondered if it was because All Stars 3 wasn't as impactful that it made like 10, like, okay, 10 is good. 10's got a good crop of girls.
You didn't think season 3 was
All Stars.
All Stars wasn't impactful?
No,
Well,
not really, no.
It didn't live up to All Stars 2. The iconicness of All Stars 2.
You didn't feel
I loved it.
You
but,
didn't feel like you could still love it, but like I felt it was a smidge of a drop.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
You know what I
totally.
mean? It just, I mean, when you think of like Trixie dominating and it's like almost didn't feel that way, you still like her, but like was she, you know.
Did she deserve? There's that debate that's gonna never
But I guess that
end.
always happens too.
Yeah.
But either way, yeah, it's a rocking season for sure. Glad to have you back. You were. How many
you.
seasons
Thank
did
you.
you do? Tell us.
Ooh. I don't remember.
And you know a lot of the girls from the work that you do, right?
I do. I used to produce and host a drag show in West Hollywood. So, and I help out with DragCon. So I've known most of these girls for quite some time. So
They need to give him his own show. Come on now.
I mean, hello. That's what I've been waiting for.
right.
But I mean, that doesn't mean, because I remember when I used to do this show, people were like, oh, he knows the girl, so he's trying to be nice.
Yeah.
No, I will give my critiques because she's been around drag since she was 18. So I'm not going to tell you how many years that is. It's only about 2. But like, I know the art form of drag, and I know, you know, what's entertainment and things like that. So if I got something to critique, I'm going to critique it.
True. Did you have a favorite couple of girls this season, just off the top? And are they still in there?
Yes. I like Asia Monet. I loved Monique Hart. I really did like
yes.
her. I love Eureka. And that is about it right now.
All right.
Yeah.
And I like everyone else. I like a few other people too, but those are the ones that just like come to mind.
Word. Well, let's get into this
All right.
discussion.
I mean, I'm just gonna say this. I didn't really like this episode.
Why?
I think there's always an episode in a season where you just don't agree with a lot of the decisions made, and like I still love the show, but and we're gonna talk about it. Has to do with the lip sync. Has to do with the challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but let's first start off with the mini challenge with the rounder bum. You know, the guys
Pants
coming
up,
in.
bottom down.
Did y'all have like a favorite number, man? I was looking at 11. I follow him really hard on Instagram. His name is
You follow him hard?
Dima.
Is that what you do?
I do.
You follow
I
him
do.
hard?
Wait, what was his name?
Dima. I don't know his last name.
How
but
you
he's
searched him?
gorgeous.
You like Instagrammed him and stalked him and
No.
Now you guys having a baby?
Drexel introduced me to him, so not in person, but anyways, what'd y'all think of this mini challenge? This was like memorization skills, actual like this is a skill you need to have for the butts.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. But I appreciate this mini challenge because it's the time where the pit crew multiplies. So like first you have Jason and Bryce walk in, and then you have everybody else walk in, and you like, honey, you like right there with the girls being like, oh, there's so many. And if you've ever seen The Color Purple, you suddenly feel like Celie is like, there's so many, what I was gonna do? So I always enjoyed this particular mini challenge.
And
Yeah.
they're locked up in a month in a hotel room with no men, so
True.
Right.
So-
Are you allowed to masturbate though?
hell yeah.
You could do that, right?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay, so that
I don't think
happens.
there's any
Yeah.
rules.
Anybody's regulating that.
No one's regulated. You're right. Yeah.
No
No
one's
sex though,
regulating
for
that.
real, huh? Okay. Well, unless you're Willem. I did like it. We had one of our after show hosts. He was a
Yeah.
pit crew. So we have a photo of Shaka Strong is the name on Instagram. Let's take a look at this booty and tell us.
I had no clue that he was one of them.
That's a Shaka booty. We did the Versace after show here. Let's take a
But-
picture of his face so you could also
See what it
recognize.
looks like.
Yeah.
But the underwear does not look flattering. I will say that.
I wasn't really a big
It
fan of
doesn't
the
look good
underwear either.
It makes your butt look tiny and scrunched. I'm sure it's comfortable. Like I was telling you before the show started. That's all I'll say.
Well,
That's all
I think because there were other shots where they actually looked just fine. I think there might have just been some fitting issues
Okay.
for Round the Bum.
There
I
was
mean,
also what? No, go ahead. Finish what you were saying.
that was it.
There was also the thicker butt, which we loved. Was that the kid from America's Next Top Model?
Ooh, I don't know.
I think it was.
No,
I think the chat may know. The one that Ru was specifically saying, "Oh, you didn't miss a meal."
Oh.
I think that was that kid. I don't know. You
know.
watch a lot of Top Model.
I
but-
do, but like
Yeah.
he wasn't on the show. He didn't.
No,
he didn't make it on the show.
Are you
but
talking
anyway.
about when Rue said, "Oh, that one wiggled out of it"?
No, when
Not
Ru
him.
specifically said, "Oh, you don't miss a meal now, do you?"
Oh no, I don't.
I thought that was the kid that is on Top Model. Anyways,
I didn't-
it
I
was
didn't
a
recognize
good group.
anyone.
I'll say this. I liked it, and I thought it was diverse, variety, boom, boom, boom. But I don't know. I just really wish I could have done the casting because it didn't seem like... It felt like diverse, but it also didn't feel diverse. I felt like it was very like Queer as Folk, 2000 and whatever year that came out. Like it just didn't give me enough. And all of the beautiful people that are out here on this Instagram, I would have liked to do a Ronnie Junior casting a little
Okay.
bit better. Which,
No.
It's fair.
You hear that, Rue?
You didn't like the boys?
I'm just saying it was it didn't feel as diverse as I thought.
Well,
It looked from afar. It was like from afar. I said, "Oh, I get it." And then I looked close and I said, "Oh, this is just a little more Queer as Folk." It wasn't.
I get what you mean because I kind of had that same thought. I would have liked to have seen
More
a lot of
diversity.
colors in the rainbow.
Yes.
But you
I mean-
know how the gay community is. It is what it
Yeah.
is.
Absolutely.
I
That's
do-
a whole other issue to talk about.
Look, please don't get me started
Yeah.
on that. I will like to give a shout out because I don't know if you guys realize this, but Mr. Laith Ashley was up in the mix
I saw
of
that.
and I was
Yeah.
like, yes, Laith Ashley, you better be up in the mix.
That was such a good. I actually, yes, I'm glad you brought that up. 'cause,
Yes.
I don't know that he got a lot of camera time, but it was very good to see Laith up there.
Yes.
From what we've seen, I mean,
Yes.
I've never met him. Have you?
Well, let's get on to the winner of the minute challenge, Miss Aquaria, who I don't know about y'all think, but like I feel like Aquaria is kind of getting like this overconfident edit. What are your thoughts on that? I know this maybe her age is showing, but she did win the mini challenge, so she got to pick out the parts later on. But before the episode kind of started, Aquaria was kind of being not attacked but questioned for how confident she was coming off because she was like, "Oh, you were in the bottom, Aquaria." So, what are your thoughts on Aquaria at this moment? Because I know Asia was calling her out about her lack of sportsmanship.
Yeah.
Yet Asia in the past was mad that she didn't have like a bomb outfit at one point. she was mad that, you know, the girls weren't, you know, she helped everyone. Do you remember in the episode?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I was just really confused with this edit. Now everyone's against Aquaria. So what are your thoughts on this?
You know, Aquaria started off really off for me, like, and it's weird. Like, typically I do say that I don't like the younger queens, just on a level of, you know, they haven't lived enough, you know, haven't. I don't know. They just really sometimes are really self-involved. I don't want to be like a basher against millennials. And to be honest, it's weird. I actually loved wholeheartedly Violet on her season. So that kind of goes against everything I say. But with Aquaria, I did struggle for a couple episodes. It took a while, but the last couple episodes, she has really turned it around for me. I feel like she started by knowing what she was going to do. She had a gimmick, and I feel like now it's been shut down enough that she's sort of rebuilt. And I feel like she jokes with the girls pretty well. And she's doing it in a way that's fun, not hurtful. You know, I think she made a joke today about, oh, Monet, we don't even want to start talking to you about the man. You know, like she's getting more present, and that works for me. And I do feel like, just like what I liked with Violet is, even though she's young, she is taking homage to the older culture, and that's always big for me. Be young all you want. We all were. Yeah, we all were.
I still am.
Were you?
I still am.
Well, I'm not, but I really like that she's growing in that way.
Yeah.
I think Aquaria has stepped into this competition knowing who she is as a drag queen, which I think is very important for Drag Race. You have to know what your drag is and what your aesthetic is. I do think that it kind of went a little over her head that she was in the bottom 3 because it wasn't done in random order. Like, she was in the bottom 3. She was either about to have to lip sync for her life or she was going to be safe, and she was safe. I think that I don't necessarily know if it's cocky, but she is confident, but she lacks awareness. So I think you can be confident in this competition, but you do have to pay attention to what the judges are saying, and you do have to realize what's happening. Girl, you were in the bottom 3. So you can be confident, but you need to listen and take those critiques so that you can continue to be better. So I think that's what she's missing. She's missing, she has a lack of awareness.
Yeah, sometimes they take that as one note, because every drag queen should be confident as hell. We get that. But you can't do it one layer where you're not also being good for criticism and how I can get better.
Yeah, I noticed in this particular episode and in Untucked, I think the girls are kind of like really like noticing and taking notice of everyone else, and it's kind of like at the same time you really want to focus on yourself. And if someone's in the bottom, you kind of just have to let them, you know, not suffer but deal with it, you know, because I know there's issues with Cameron also, so it's just a whole damn mess, and we can agree to disagree. But Ronnie, you got this live read?
Yeah. Well, real quickly, there's so much going on. AfterBuzz had a prom on Friday. I think I drank all weekend. I was in San Diego. Lots going on, but we do want to take a moment to say, hey, we know that you guys are following SiriusXM. Did you know there was a 2-week free trial? Get into that. That's fun. But obviously, a lot of people are trying to watch and listen to Maria Menounos' podcast, which is Conversations with Maria Menounos. But Sirius is not always free. We know that. So what we have done here at AfterBuzz for our AfterBuzz creator is we made a podcast for free. We download this on every Friday, and it's called the same name, of course, Conversations with Maria Menounos. Make sure you download it. And Tony, right, it's also very important to do the comments and, you know, retweets and all that stuff. And even more so, what you could do is write in the comments like issues you'd like to be talked about. Maria is a podcast that, unlike a lot of others where it's like bashing, you know, celebrity, that's not what they do. They do uplifting about health. They do uplifting conversations about economics, this, that, and the other. It's a lot of really good stuff, so go look at it. Conversations with Maria Menounos, free, and make sure you let them know that the RuPaul Drag Race After Show Kids sent you over there, and she'll, like, you know,
she'll be like, hey, y'all, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Thank you, Miss Maria. So let's get on this maxi-challenge. Can I just say this maxi-challenge, I know in the chat y'all agree with me that I didn't think this maxi-challenge was funny at all. I have only seen one episode of Westworld, but I didn't think anyone was funny in this challenge. Like, I think the funniest people, if I had to pick, would be Aquaria and Monet. Everyone else, I don't know, like, I wasn't laughing out loud. I just thought everyone was very stale. So what did you guys
I wonder
think?
if it's because you didn't watch Westworld, because I actually only watched a couple.
I get the concept of Westworld, but I just didn't.
Funny's funny, and
you
they
don't
weren't
have
funny.
to see something for it to be funny.
Right.
So what did you guys think?
I haven't seen Westworld either. However, I think when it comes to these acting challenges, there are 2 things you need to do when applying for RuPaul's Drag Race. One, take an improv class. That is very important because you know there's going to be an acting challenge. Actually, 3 things. 2, take a sewing class because you know that you're going to have to sew at some point. And 3, go ahead and get some of them vocal lessons so that way when you have to sing live like they had to in this season, then you would be okay. The problem with these acting challenges is that everyone gets in their head. So like the reason why Monet excelled was because she knew who this character was. The reason why Asia excelled was because she was able to pull from her aunts the conservativeness of it. Instead of trying to be a Sarah Palin, she kind of just pulled from her aunts. She was able to do that. The reason why Miss Cracker did not excel was because she was too in her head and didn't just allow herself to be Miss Cracker. The reason why Cameron didn't excel was because he was too in his head instead of just becoming the character. So all that just to say, find the character that suits you. Because you're in the top 6. There's no holds bar. You can't make a mistake. Find something that you know that you will be great at, and then just go for it. And when Michelle and Ross are giving you the notes, take the notes. Eureka could have slayed the bingo robot, but she was just too in her head and too timid. And at this point, you can't be timid. So it's like, girl, go for it. And if you mess up or need to be reeled in, that's what Ross and Michelle are there for.
Yeah.
Boom.
I was really surprised Eureka. You know, you think she'd do really well in these acting challenges, comedy challenge, yet she kind of fell flat.
Well, it might be what Tony was saying is like you have to. Well, they didn't really get to pick their character, but it is. She's done characters that were like youthful, and those worked for her. She leaned into that. That works for her. This character may have been so far off from her, which is not an excuse, but it is a thing. Can I say one thing, you guys? I really like every time, because I know Ollie and we talk about liking Cracker so much, and every time Cracker doesn't completely succeed, I'm always like, I'm still not worried. Like, I'm still like okay with it. This was the first episode, you guys, that I felt a little bit worried. Like, I felt a little like.
Dude, I've been worried for a couple weeks now.
I know, and you would say that, and I would usually be like, but I still feel like she's good. It's just it just hasn't happened. Whatever. This time, I do think that in your head thing was really dramatic, and I do feel like it was maybe needed to be done, and that she could hopefully flourish next episode because. You know, I think sometimes you just need to be called on it. Maybe she didn't know that she was overly analytical. And I mean, I know she knows she's analytical, but I don't think she understood that, like, wait, I'm actually not present. I'm so good, but I'm not present. And so this is what I like about Drag Race. I love when every queen, no offense to them, gets a good swift kick in the ass like we all do in regular life because it only makes you better. Yeah. So, and my other thing on that, I know we got to move along. I don't think that Cameron was that bad. Even though the rehearsal was bad, I don't think the final Cameron was that bad.
But
she had the most lines.
True, but there's a.
Well, real quick before you go, are we judging on how she does with Michelle and Ross and the final performance, or are we just judging the performance?
The final performance, because she missed the mark with the final speech. I agree with you that she wasn't that bad. I think she played like that, oh my God, what is this? What have you taken me to? But then there's a moment, it should have been like, oh my God, hey guys, like I love you and you love me and love is love. Like it should have been, but she was still wrapped up in that she didn't do the colors that she should have done.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
That's an acting term.
Come on.
Colors.
Let us know.
I like this comment in the chat. I don't know if you were about to say this. Hannah Vega says, like they said, Cracker self-produces, and that's probably going to be Cracker's downfall. And I hate saying that because I love Miss Cracker. She's one of my favorites. She's probably, her and Cameron are like tied for my favorite.
Doesn't make her a bad queen, but just in this competition, which you're asked to do. Yeah,
she's very all-star material.
And I'm glad Monet did well. I mean, because Monet's been one where I've always went into it looking at Monet as like, I love that, you know, funky New York City type queen. Those are always my favorite, typically. But sometimes that doesn't work in this competition. So the fact that we finally had a challenge where Monet could just jump into it, I felt really good about that.
Yeah. Really quick, I was going to address Ken29, who had said, hey, Tony, do you think there is a difference between knowing how to sew and knowing how to design a costume? There's a slight difference, but I think they go hand in hand. I think if you can think it, you should be able to sew it.
Love it, yeah.
There you go.
So do you guys agree with Asia winning the challenge? Because I don't, personally.
Okay, why?
I want it because I feel like her, not to say rigomoris, but I feel like her role was kind of destined to win because she was the savior in the end. And so she got that role, and she didn't do bad, but I really like Monet. And I felt like Monet didn't really win this challenge because Rue was on her ass because she wasn't being glamour. You know, she was like, I want her in a wig, and she didn't do that this week. And we'll talk about the runway in just a sec. And then I really liked Aquaria's performance too. So I was disappointed with Asia winning personally. And I just really wanted Monet to win a damn challenge because I don't think, it's just too late not to be winning challenges.
Totally agree with you, but you know what's funny? That is the hardest question we've asked all season. No one really was that star, showing themselves.
Yeah.
So I really would have been okay with Monet winning. I would have been, I guess, I know Cameron dropped it. I would have been okay with that. I just no, I'm sorry. Aquaria did good too.
Yeah.
Let's not forget. I did forget. I really liked what Aquaria brought to the thing, and I think it was really sweet. And I know we're not into best friends race kind of a thing. I thought it was really sweet that she gave everyone a chance to pick their
that was
cast member. Could be a dumb move, but the fact that she did that and still rocked it out, Aquaria really impressed me this episode.
I would have been okay with Monet or Asia winning. I do feel like I think the issue came about was that when it came to Monet's runway look, and I know we're going to get that to a second, I think that came into account because, Monet sees herself as a mess and it was kind of like, this is how I feel like I'm going to look. Whereas I don't think the judges got it. So I think that kind of could have possibly played into it. And I think with Asia, she came in and, kind of saved a sinking ship, sort of, and totally changed the energy and the mood. Yeah. And I think that saved her by picking that role. But then also just, how she was, I think they could kind of see, there were some gimmicks that they didn't understand, but they could kind of see how Asia had aged herself. So.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
it just was what it was. It didn't leave us gagged, on this particular episode.
Well, let's get to the runway right now.
Okay, we do have photos of the runway, so that'll be fun.
Oh, look at y'all! Y'all prepared.
Tony, we had to welcome you.
Okay. Let's do this.
Our production team spends many hours.
Yes. Okay.
And this was the elderly, and we are going to talk about a little bit of that, terminology in the mirror moment that's coming up later.
So this is Silver Fox Runway.
Yes.
This is what the girls see themselves in, 50 whatever years. So I guess we'll start off with Miss Cracker, who was given some Devil Wears Prada realness.
Yes.
I loved it. What'd you guys think?
I liked it. I feel like if Miss Cracker is the funny gal, I would have liked to have her bring that out. Like, I don't think this is going to be Miss Cracker in 50 years. I think Miss Cracker is going to be what's the caricature of yourself? You know what I mean? This is, you complain about not being funny. This is your chance to be funny. This is not funny. I mean, I see myself as Miranda Priestley all the time too.
I will say that I appreciate her being one of the few to actually do a glamour. Just go for the glamour. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's a really tough challenge, you guys, because I don't want to say it's cheating to go glamour, but I always feel bad for the ones who go for more the comedic, like the aged look, like an Asia and a Monet.
But those ended up being the popular ones.
Yeah, I mean, I
that the judges loved.
Yeah, I hear you. I always wish that the category could be wrangled in a little bit so we see all of them do the same thing. Because now I'm judging Cracker, which I do love,
differently,
but it doesn't make sense. Now, kind of going off a point, I didn't think about this until Tony mentioned where Cracker should shine as comic. She should have done something like this, you guys, but she should have done it where she implemented like a hunchback or something of that nature where you get the comedy and the glam mix. That's Cracker. She does it every single episode where she goes, oh, this is a perfect assemblage of who I am. A little bit of this and a little bit of that. It's like this episode, she threw that out the window. So that's my only thing. She looked ravishing, but it didn't mix.
My last thing I'll say is that she's been trying to get that Cracker brand out to the judges, but they aren't selling or they aren't buying it. So that's why I'm glad she did something different that the judges weren't expecting.
That makes sense.
So could possibly the judges would eat it up, and they actually liked it, but obviously she didn't do that well in the challenge.
She does look stunning, yeah.
Next queen we have is Monet. Oh no, Asia. So what did you? The only thing I thought it was really funny, but I will say that I feel like you didn't get it. You had to listen to her explain it. And I feel like when a queen has to explain their look, it's not, I don't know. I don't really like that. I like to get the story right there and then. I got Monet's look right there and then. So what did you guys think of Asia?
For me, I liked it. I thought it was a clear depiction of what she thinks she's going to be like in 50 years. Did I get the chips at first? No, but I just thought it was I'm just gonna do what I want to do. I'm here at the club. I'm gonna go out just like this. I've been doing this for 100 years. this is it. Give my dollar. I'm gonna go home.
I agree with a lot of that, and I actually did really like it, and I liked it when you look at her outfit and you see some pubic hair coming out the crotch area. Oh yeah, go tighter. There's like some pubic hair coming out the crotch area. Like that was not lost on me. And secondly, what I loved about this character, I don't know if you can see it through the photo, but what I loved about this character, it almost to me, if you guys remember when they did the 3 different runways, remember when she did her Miami, which meant it was, no, obviously when she was ice cold, it meant Miami. Whatever it was.
That one.
That one where I felt like she was giving us very Trina if Miami was like an ice capade type situation. I felt like this was the same gal or her aunt, and I loved that. I mean, I know that wasn't what she intended, but to me, it really allowed me to really like Asia.
She knows her aesthetic.
Yeah, but I won't say that what the judges said didn't make sense. Like, you almost wanted, if your pageant, rock the, to the wheels fall off pageant. Give us old school pageant. But to take another idea and it work, it really satisfied me. It's all the kind of chunky and funky that I love.
Yeah, I personally didn't like it. It wasn't one of my favorites, probably one of my least favorites. But I will say that I appreciate it when a pageant queen, like such as herself, similar to Trinity, goes for the comedy. Because I was really, Trinity last season grew on me because she was so damn
amazing,
funny.
Yeah.
So next queen, we got my girl Monet. I was totally living for it. I loved
I was too.
the reveal. I
Yeah.
was so totally team Monet. I was dying for her to get this win this week. What'd you guys think?
I love the fact that she had the little hairs on top of the head. I love the saggy boobs with the pasties over it. I love that she came out and I thought it was just an IV, but then she turns out it was liquor.
Yes.
Again, she was bringing the funny. She was taking, how she keeps saying like her body's breaking down and all this kind of stuff and how she thinks she's going to be, which is what I think Ms. Cracker should have done, was take on this same kind of thought process.
I think you guys actually nailed it completely. I don't know what else to say other than I think the exact same thing. I want to see her perform. She's that great for me in the sense that every week I feel like we're like in a relationship. Like I think about, is Monet thinking about me? I like her that much, and I think the times where she falls short because maybe she doesn't nail the glam aspect, she always wins in this. And it wasn't like you were talking about improv and selling it or whatever. She sold that, like the way she walked, the way she was fully presented, and I was happy about it.
I was really happy.
She could have been a win for her.
Because, I wasn't liking her looks early in the season, but finally she's stepping it up, and I'm really happy to see it. I'm so proud.
You hated the sponge.
Oh, nope. Not a fan of the sponge. Not a fan of the sponge, but I'm really happy. I really wish she won. I can't emphasize that enough. But next queen we have is Miss Aquaria. Okay, this is a controversial one because I know the judges were like, they loved it. They also hated it. So I don't know how I feel about this one. And I love Aquaria's looks, but what do you guys think?
So,
because Rue loved it, Michelle didn't.
I get what Aquaria was doing. I think that, like Rue said, I plan on looking like this, in 50 years too. I think it's that older drag queen who ages well with drag, but just has this funky look. It almost kind of reminds me of, and don't hate me, Raja, but it kind of puts me in the frame of mind of Raja, like how Raja would still be sickening and look very fashion forward and everything like that at like 80 years old. You know what I mean? So I kind of got what Aquaria was doing, and we have to keep in mind, and just not to use this as an excuse, she is only 21, so she thinks she's gonna look like that when
everyone has their aesthetic for sure. You know what I wish? I just thought of this. I wish they would have done like a kind of like a funny version and like a polished version.
Yeah, like we were talking about, cool. Glam and
absolutely. You helped me form that freaking. What'd you think of it?
I love the commentary there because that does make sense, and it does make sense to like the girls that are growing up now who are 22. This is exactly what their future is going to look like. So she nailed it. My only problem with that exact sentiment is that there's not a big enough transformation. So I lose it there. I lose it in the like that's a great story, but like now you're too similar to what you already are, and it does make sense what that Ross said, great, but not great for this challenge.
Yeah, I think it gets lost in some of the other looks for sure.
It wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad at all.
I slept on it a little bit. You know?
Understandable.
Love the fashion part of it, but slept on it a little bit, yeah.
Oh, next queen, we got Eureka. So I didn't care for this. I think she got lost in the coat, and it was a little boring.
I liked it from the neck up. from the neck down, I would have liked something a bit better. And then when she was just like, I feel good, like this coat twirls, I'm like, girl, I needed some. Like, I almost would have bought it if she had sold it, but the problem is she didn't sell it.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, this is my version of blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I think that's from the neck up. That's what Eureka's gonna look like in 50 years. You know, she's still gonna be glamour, but she's gonna be like, you know, like a Blanche Devereaux. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know, she still looks good and perky, and or at least attempts to, and everything like that. But yeah, I think if she had just done something different with a different outfit, I think it would have.
And I liked her attempt at not. I think, what did she say? I'm going a different route than I usually do. I'm making it a little softer this time. You know, it's a different approach. I liked the different approach, but the outfit being bad and not having a reason to be there was bad.
Guess who's in the chat?
Jackie.
Mark J. Freeman.
Hi, Mom.
Mark.
Guess who's back in the
you.
house? Heels click clack in a bow. Fine fresh feminine style to the 11. I'm divine, so heavenly gentleman. Sweating is
Death
down
drop.
for the board, no doubt. Body like wow. Pussy about to end this drop.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
Get
yeah,
it, girl. I don't even know.
No,
I love that.
He's our dancer.
Love the song. I don't
He's
even.
our performer.
Props to you for knowing the lyrics. I
know the first 20 seconds.
Tony's like, I do's this.
So our last queen is Miss Cameron Michaels. My favorite of the week.
I
Loved
all
it.
of
She
this.
sold it. That's the one thing what I love about Cameron. She's very quiet, but when it's time to perform, you know, she does it. And I'm so happy to see it because, you know, we slept on her. Everyone slept on her. I slept on her. And I didn't think she was going to go so far. And I'm so happy to see her doing so well despite her performance in the challenge.
Yeah. I actually I was surprised by this look from Cameron, actually. And she does look like, she looks like that old woman who still goes to the casino.
Oh my God.
And like sits at the slots with like that big old bucket, you know what I mean? And then later on you'll see her at like the discotheque in the casino, you know what I mean? Still dancing.
This is like
and twirling.
a real character. I love it.
Yeah.
This was the
She transformed. I think that's what was so amazing about her look this week. Like, you did not see Cameron.
She was so far. Yeah, I was gonna say she's so far out of herself.
The prosthetics.
And a lot of these other queens didn't do that. They were themselves taking on this. She went with it, and I'm surprised no one actually went for that look either. It seemed like something, you know.
The pills. She sold it. Sold it.
She did both of them.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about this lip sync real quick. We're running short a little bit on time.
Okay,
but
we
let's
got
get into this
bunch
lip
of
sync.
photos. Yeah, it's a great lip sync.
So, okay. My real quick, I just think that it's a Shantae, you both stay situation. I thought Cameron killed it from start to finish. I think Eureka didn't do bad, but she like her buildup was too slow, and she started turning it up at the end of it. And I don't think she should have stayed personally.
Who, Eureka?
Yeah. I thought Cameron deserved to stay because she was from start to finish. But Eureka, you know, they did the double split. You know, I think.
I liked Eureka's when she did the split and she dragged it across.
Yeah,
that was kind of fun.
the only real moment that I thought stood out from Eureka's
I'll agree with you. I was available for Eureka to go. I thought it was a great television moment that they stayed.
Okay.
I think that they both had two different takes on the song that worked. I think Cameron went right into like full energy, whereas Eureka did have a build to it, but then exuded the same energy that Cameron was giving. So I don't know. I think for the judges and for us, because we've seen so many bad lip syncs, it was entertaining enough to where you could tell they both left their soul on that stage, on that main stage.
And they are very close, so it probably meant a lot to them personally for them both to stay. But I was a little bummed because it also kind of like, it's like, okay, we got another episode. The stakes are like, you know, they are not raised in this episode because no one went home. So I was a little bummed.
It's a big moment too, and I think a lot of people like to see that. I just don't know if this was the episode where two queens battled it out, and this is where they both stay. I didn't feel it for these two.
It needs to be on the level of Alyssa versus Tatiana in All Stars 2. That is what I expect from Ashanti. You both stay. Yeah, that's all I say on that.
Say it.
So we're running short on time. Does anyone have any quick shout outs they want to give? I want to shout out to Ken29 in the chat. You were awesome, and everyone else tuning in live, joining us in the chat. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. I think
Well, shout out to everybody that has welcomed me back for this episode.
Yes.
I appreciate you guys, and shout out to Robert Harold, who said I miss the old shady days of Tony Kinney and Cameron, just throwing it at each other. I do miss those days.
Cameron was the king and the queen of the shade. Love Cameron.
Cameron used to always poke. He tried to poke the bear and be like, "No, Tony, say what you really mean." I'm like, "Nah, bitch, that's what I really meant. Like, I'm not trying to be nice on me. I'm just saying." He kept trying to get me to say something bad, but you know,
these episodes are worth going back to watch. Can we talk quickly about just the fact that they were talking about aging in the community? I just thought that was a
no, go ahead, take it away.
I mean, not much to say, but I thought it was good, and I'm glad it was implemented. And we even saw like an aspect of that with Aquaria paying homage to Amanda Lepore, which is amazing. Do you know I have an Amanda Lepore picture? And I got to show it just because it makes me so happy.
You met her?
Yeah. Can you? I was in the middle of the city. I got out of the vehicle I was in. I was working a production, and I ran across the street, and I had to get my selfie. Can you show that picture real quick, Anthony? The picture of me and Amanda. Anyways, I like the aspect that they talk about, what it is like, to put ourselves, out there as drag queens and to age and what that's going to be. Oh, look at in his younger day.
I love it.
Come on with the nice sharp jawline back then that I don't have anymore.
I love it.
I literally had to stalk her. It was the greatest thing ever.
No,
she was so sweet, so adorable, and I had you're not going to let Amanda walk by you in New York and you not go get that picture.
Yeah, and I love what Aquaria said, that she's one of the nicest people you'll ever meet.
Yeah.
And I think it's so important for the younger generation to just appreciate the older generation and vice versa, because we can both really learn from each other. We just need to not be hateful and spiteful.
And you want to know what's funny? Like, when the queens are on the show, I don't know if it's the way the show is edited or like the way the story's being told, but sometimes like some of my favorite queens, when it's all said and done, are the older queens. Like, I didn't realize how much I loved Ginger more than I liked her on the show. I didn't realize how much I liked Miss Costa Davis until after. Like, there is a certain thing that like I think we forget to pay homage to the older queens who have put in time. Kennedy Davenport, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And really quick, I know we're like completely out of time, but y'all will be okay. So they did mention about dating and how everyone's basically looking for a man or a boyfriend or whatever, and dating and drag. And I thought Asia's story was very interesting, just to show how queens do band together, especially when she went through the heartbreak of her ex, who was also a drag queen and who basically showed up at her job, and everybody was like, boo, you ain't about to come to her job and sit up in the front row, and you got to go. Right. So I loved hearing that, but I have heard many a times from people that I know that it is hard when you are a drag queen to date, because I think some people can't see you beyond that character.
And now, is that a thing with drag, or is that a thing with like success and fame? Like, because people.
I think it's drag first.
Yeah.
I kind of feel when you're on the show, I think draws get thrown at you at some point.
Yeah.
But I think when you're, starting in drag, and people find out that you're a drag queen, then it's just kind of like, oh, you know what I mean? Because then suddenly you're not mask for mask like everyone wants.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, they talk about, no one wants to see best friends race, but like the sisterhood is an important thing, and it is the idea. Like, if it's an LGBTQIA situation, why aren't we like Why are we so in a rush to divide each other? Damn it, we're fighting enough battles. Like, maybe rock out with your other people in your community, because that right? You know what I'm saying?
That's a whole nother show.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad it was implemented in this one. I know you have to go. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. If we can continue the discussion in the comments, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Also, Cracker's story about her mom being able to actually see her for the last time on Drag Race. That was awesome. Thanks again.
Can we continue the conversation on the chat as far as what everyone thought about Cameron? I thought it was a very interesting thing where she's overly unavailable to take the real feelings. On the good side, that makes for great drag, because she could put it into the drag. But then, as a human, she's left void. Or is she not? I'd love to talk about that with you guys on the chat.
And let's do it. So
Tony was here.
I was here.
Let's say goodbye. But plug yourselves, obviously, and
He been plugging himself.
Give us your predictions for top 3.
Monet won't get there, but I want her to. But it'll be Asia, Cracker, and it'll be Eureka. No, Aquaria. I'm bad at that. Yeah.
I kind of feel like it will be Eureka, Asia, and Monet, but Monet, I kind of go back between like Monet and Aquaria.
Okay.
So you don't see Cracker going?
And don't forget to plug yourselves.
Oh, and you can follow me on all social media platforms at Lounging with Tony or my website, loungingwithtony.com.
He gives it to the camera. Like, this is a podcast, but he gives it to the camera. I love it. Randomly, RJ, I'm going to be taking his class because this is wonderful. This is so fabulous. Thank you.
Yes, guys, and I'm Oliver Drennan. Follow me on all social media platforms at Ollie Dreamer. I think my top 3 is going to be, and this is just most what I don't want to happen, but I think what's going to happen is going to be Eureka, Asia, and Aquaria. Thank you guys so much for tuning in this week.
Thank you guys, everyone.
Mark and Jackie will be back. Thank
Congratulations,
you so much for having
Jackie.
me. Yes.
Love you, Jax.
Jackie B 123 and your husband 5678.
Bye, y'all.
Later.
You're tuning into the destination for TV. From executive producers Maria Menounos, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Drag you later.
Oh.
The hosts only do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.